Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams we'll upload in the future. Check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. You can check it out in the description below, and there's a link at the top of the chat as well, so you definitely can't miss it. Chat with other traders, including myself. I share ideas there, so if you're looking to join, make sure you check it out. And of course, you can find out a lot more about Elevating Traders in the Discord as well. But guys, welcome back to another stream. We had some interesting news yesterday, and we still do have Euro news today as well. Let's not forget about that. We did have the Bank of Canada interest rate decision yesterday and the Fed. And in the afternoon, we got Euro. So if you're looking at any Euro pairs, do take that into consideration. But I hope everyone is well. Ahmed, welcome to the stream. Will, good morning. Hope you are well. Melvin, what is up? Yes, Panazi, we'll get to it. I'll go through USD side of things first. We'll take a look at the DXY, USD majors, gold and silver. And then, of course, I'll get to some requests. So if any particular pairs you want me to look at, drop it down in the chat. Any particular time frames as well, let me know as well. But as I said, we had the interest rate decision yesterday, and you can kind of look at the market and see like barely nothing happened. Sometimes you get the interest rate decision and the market explodes, and we're seeing really aggressive momentum. We're seeing really strong trends afterwards. Sometimes it's a little bit dry, and you can barely tell that we actually had news. Excuse me. So, yeah, very, very dry. Yesterday, of course, we had a bit of a wick back and forth, but essentially the market is kind of just still in the same place that we left it last stream. So nothing really to go with in terms of the price action. I'm still looking for the same thing, which we've been talking about for a while. Still looking for the possibility for a swing back to the high there. We have tapped into this area here. Really nice consolidation, really strong move to the upside. And since then, we've come back into that same area, as well as 0.618, if I'm not mistaken, of the fib, yes, as well. So a nice area of confidence there for the DXY, and we have had a nice bounce from that. Of course, big gap to the upside at the start of the week. I wonder if price can maybe go fill that gap, because I'm still looking for a push down for a higher low or potentially an equal low for the long. So I wonder potentially if we could go and fill this gap here and then see the move to the upside. That would be nice, because like I said, I'm looking to buy a little bit further down, and then we can fill the gap as well, and then hopefully after that we might see the continuation. But right now, market is very, very flat, and I'm not really seeing much opportunity here. Maybe if we do push back into the high there might be a nice sell intraday to go and fill that gap and potentially get that next retest for the buy. But essentially what I'm looking at for dollar is a move down for a move back up again. So that's really what I'm looking at in terms of the analysis. As long as price respects this market structure, we of course had the high there, higher low, higher high. So essentially I'm just looking for the next leg of this phase, looking at that as the retracement for potentially another push up. So that's what I'm looking at, but there might be some intraday shorts on USD in the meantime. In terms of Euro USD, excuse me, pretty much looking at the exact opposite as well. So again, there is our swing high just after we made that swing low, looking for the continuation of that move, which we created new lows down there. Now treating this as the pullback of that move for more downside. Again, we had a really strong reaction from this area at the start of the week. So looking to see again if potentially we can see some upside, see that lower high or that equal high, find some shorts on that entry, and then possibly take it back to the lows. And that is the plan with Euro, of course. Looking at pretty much them doing the exact opposite to what the DXY potentially might do as well. So it's nice to see them, those two markets in sync pretty well. But Euro USD very bearish, still in a comfortable downtrend. If price does start taking out this high here, that's where I will rethink the bias, because at that point we're breaking structure. So I would be looking at something like this going forward, and perhaps a pretty big move to the upside for Euro. So if that does happen, I will of course change the bias. But for now, we haven't taken out structure yet, so still looking at more downside. In terms of pound USD, still trading more or less around that 1.25 area. Price did come to that level early in the week, respected it pretty well. Nice reaction. So again, I'm looking for something like this to happen for some shorts. And again, if everything does go well, possibly a push back down to the lows. Been very consistent with these lower highs. And again, similar to Euro, made a lower low, lower high. And of course, this is our leg, which gave us our new lows. So again, looking for the continuation of that. We've got these prior lower highs to reference, one over there, second, third. Looking for number 4 in that phase, really, and the continuation back to the lows. And again, as I've spoken about a few times, we've broken through that kind of ascending channel on the daily chart, which is connecting kind of these highs and those lows there. And price has broken through that. So as long as we can stay below that channel, there is a good probability that we do continue lower. And unless, of course, we do something like that, then we might see some upside. But for now, still pretty bearish here on Euro, keeping close line 1.25. That's really where I want to find my entries and possibly swing it back down to the lows. And moving on to USD CAD, I'm pretty sure we're still in a consolidation. Yes, we are. So again, no kind of major updates for this one. Still stuck between major support and resistance. Possibly there might be a nice sell after we respected the high, another push back down to the low at 1.429. If you're looking for a bit of range play, this is not a bad opportunity for it. Shorts here, stop loss above the high. Maybe I probably wouldn't enter right now because risk reward's not looking that great. It would be best to kind of get the entries close to the high as possible. But essentially, we have respected the high pretty well there. So we could be seeing another drop there for dollar CAD. But like I said, I'm not really interested in that price action. I'm waiting for price to break the high or break the low and then find opportunities off the back of that. Because once we do break the high or the low, then I know there's momentum. Then I know we probably have a bit of a trend or likelihood of a trend. Of course, there is possibility of fake outs, but if we stay below, the likelihood of a trend is pretty high. And that's the type of momentum I'm looking to get involved with. As I've spoken about with dollar CAD in the weekly chart, we still have resistance up here, which I expect price to get to. And there is still a big level down here, which we might break to the downside first to go and retest before seeing that bigger move. So either which way, whether we break to the high, there's upside targets. Whether we break to the downside, there's a level price could potentially get to as well. So either which way, there's opportunities and healthy targets to aim for as well. So yeah, dollar CAD just waiting for the green light for us to break out of that range. Aussie dollar still very short bias. Again, I've been looking for a bigger pullback for this one. We've taken out some major lows. Don't get me wrong, long term, I still do see us pushing all the way back down here to the COVID lows. So in my book, there's a long way to go for Aussie dollar. And same thing with New Zealand dollar, which we'll get to in a moment. But I still do see more downside. But again, looking for a slightly bigger correction since we have taken out these lows. We have seen a type of correction, so it's not like we haven't seen any upside. We have seen some upside here. It just hasn't been that big of a correction given how big of a move we've seen. But if price was to get back to the high here, I may consider looking for some shorts. Oh, did not mean to do that. If price does get up there, I may consider looking to get into some shorts from that area, 0.632, big double top, and a continuation. My still preferred area is this daily low here, but we may not get there. So I will look to see what we can do at that high if we even get there as well. I know at the moment we're looking pretty bearish, but we might see another swing to the upside. We are pretty corrective right here, so we might see a push at some point this week. So looking for entries up there. If not, I'll look to see what we can do at 0.638. But again, the idea is looking for more downside, treating this as a pullback, looking for shorts. So those are my two areas of interest. And of course, in terms of targets, right back to where we came from, back down at those lows at 0.61359. In terms of New Zealand dollar, very bearish on this one as well. Same kind of situation as Aussie dollar. The COVID lows are not too far away from this one, actually. COVID lows are only just over here. So it's actually pretty close. But again, I do think price is likely going to take out those lows pretty soon, whether we push to the upside first and then make the move, or price is just ready to crash and do it now. That's up to New Zealand dollar. But again, there is still room to the downside, still liquidity underneath this low here and this low. And I do expect us to continue. We've been falling to the downside for quite a while. So that's probably where price is going to get to in the next few weeks. It's just up to New Zealand dollar, whether we get a bigger pullback first and then make the move, or we might sell off already. So again, with New Zealand dollar. I'll see what we can do back at this high here. Possibly that might be the best place for an entry for me if the market does want to have a bigger pullback. But if we do have a bigger pullback, there are a couple of areas that I will consider shorting from this area here and also from this area here as well. Two big levels on the daily chart. Should we see price come into those areas, there's a good chance we do see a reaction. Of course, whether it takes us all the way back down to these lows is a different question, but at least we're trading some areas where we could see some higher time frame sellers step in, maybe some buyers take profit, and we could get a reaction in our favor. So that's really what I'm looking at for New Zealand dollar, expecting these lows to be taken out. But just how big of a pullback will we see? Those are the areas I'm looking at to short from at the moment in time. And in terms of gold and silver, so gold, last time I checked, looking pretty bullish, and yeah, we're looking pretty bullish. So yeah, very, very close to testing that 27.20 level. Unfortunately for me, price didn't quite do that, and now it's looking really bullish. So I was looking for entries at this level here. I still am. If price does suddenly drop to the downside, I'll be there and waiting, although it's probably looking pretty unlikely now. But again, expecting new all-time highs for gold pretty soon, and looks like we may be on our way to doing that. Just above 27.90. Yes, they mentioned this 2800 level, big psychological level. Could see price attracted to that area there once we do take up the highs. But yeah, very, very strong close this morning. Really strong close on the 4-hour chart. Momentum intraday is looking pretty strong as well. So it probably is pretty unlikely that we do see that bigger pullback. So if you are looking at gold, I'll probably stick to the lower time frames. You might still see some type of correction like this, which could give some nice buy opportunities, maybe probably sometime tomorrow, because that will need some time to develop there. So again, there could still be some opportunities intraday, but that break and retest on the 4-hour level is probably not going to happen at this point in time. So gold longs look really good, really nice bullish structure, really nice move there, another nice move there as well this morning. So it's clear that that the buyers are in control of the market right now. So pullbacks, retest the high here, could be a great place for some longs, and I would target the all-time highs there, or at least the high there on the left at 27.84. But yeah, gold, definitely expecting more upside for that one. And silver, yeah, silver's weird. Again, silver I'm still very bullish on as well. I mean, gold's looking very bullish. It looks like it's about to make new all-time highs, whereas silver is lagging behind big time. So I do think silver's got a lot of catching up to do. And again, I'm still a buyer of silver, or looking to be a buyer of silver anyway. But as I said yesterday, price is still very, very corrective in this channel here. So it's not really attractive to trade right now. And if anything, it might still be a correction of this leg for a continuation. And I'm not really interested in that just yet. So for silver, I do want to see price really show me confidence and break through the high here, which looks like we're seeing. And it could leave behind some nice longs there for us, maybe next week sometime. So silver, I do expect this one to slowly catch up with the pace of gold. I'm expecting silver to come back to the highs all over there. So that's kind of why I like silver, although the price action right now is not looking so bullish. I know we are putting these higher lows in, but they're very, very corrective, and we're not really seeing much momentum there. So hopefully this next bullish leg can really give us some healthy momentum. But the reason why I like silver so much is because we've got a long, long way to go to get back to the high, which means, there will be numerous opportunities, hopefully, for some pullbacks. Whether you catch the next one or the next one after that, there probably will be another one to come, because there's so much distance between current price and that swing high. So that's why I like silver, because there is a lot of potential there. But yeah, very, very bullish, just waiting for price to kind of clean up, really. And yeah, that's kind of really sums up where I am with USD and gold and silver. Still pretty bullish on the dollar, but no kind of entries there, and very bullish on gold and silver. Anyway, Melvin, you mentioned pound Aussie. I will take a look. Ahmed, dollar yen, euro yen, we'll take a look as well. Good morning, Darkshon. Hope you're well. And it looks like the happy hour for GJ changed to Asia session. Oh, okay. I haven't actually really looked at the yen pairs, so I'll go take a look. But are we seeing a lot more movement? A lot of movement a lot of movement in the Asian session. I think we did, didn't we? Yeah. I had a look at dollar yen this morning, and that had a bit of a sell-off. So maybe the yen pairs are starting to move a bit more during Asia now. Holy One, what's up? Closed Aussie, okay. Only have 2 conferences and need to see major sellers come, then I'll get back in. Okay, makes sense. If you don't have your confirmations, no point in trying forcing it. What's up, Matt? Hope you're well. Trading downfall story, got funded with 50 mode swing over a month, then blew the account in 10 days. Passed one holiday and came back, expected to go back to work, but I said decided to trade, get income, and couldn't handle drawdown. Same account gone. Yeah, I mean, again, the way to look at it is it's just a step back. It's not the be all or end all. Losing a funded account, of course, is not fun at all. But if you have the skill set to get a funding account, if you do lose it, as long as the skill set, as long as you didn't get lucky, if you have the skill set, you can always get it back again. So I think that's the positive aspect of it. But also, learn from the mistakes as well. I feel like everyone needs to, before you become, really consistent in trading, I feel like everyone needs to kind of fail a little bit after they succeed, if that kind of makes sense. So once you kind of start to find your edge and start to find your feet in trading, normally once you've done that, you get overconfident. It happened to me. I bet it happened to so many people. Once you do find your feet in trading, you do get a bit overly confident. You think, oh, okay, this is pretty easy. You just need to do this and that. And, we're making money. But then you get too overly confident. You up risk. You start to become a bit complacent. Don't really follow your plan. And then you get punished, whether that's blowing a live account, losing more money than expected, losing a fund account, whatever it is. You will go through that process, which will humble you and realize, okay, you can't slouch, you can't slack. You've got a plan, you need to abide by that plan. So I think that's the biggest lesson to take away. But of course, losing a fund account is definitely not fun. But hey, if you've got the skill set, you can always get it back. And I feel like you'll be better trader because of this. You'll be a better trader, better individual because of the loss. So although I know it's very painful, but it might be a necessary part of your learning curve. Yes, US 100 will go through that as well. That is true. ET does have a lot of accounts for you as well. Okay, so let me go through pound Aussie before I forget. So let me know what you're looking to do on pound Aussie, Melvin. So yeah, pound Aussie looking very, very bullish at the moment. We are coming back into some resistance on the left here. So we might see price have a bit of a reaction. But yeah, I mean, I definitely missed the boat with this one. I was looking to buy just a little bit further down, and maybe in another alternate universe we did get to that area, but we just missed it, and price absolutely flew to the upside there. The plan was to try and catch another one of these higher lows, but unfortunately we didn't see that happen, and price absolutely flew there. So now that move's kind of done, really, now we're coming back into resistance. We may still be looking to push back to the high because, of course, let's not forget this is definitely an uptrend, and in an uptrend, if it does continue, there's a good chance price is going to get back to the high. So if we do clear the resistance here, that's probably where price is going to get to. So right now, for pound Aussie, we could see a bit of a drop, but price action is not giving that sign at all right now. Everything's looking very, very bullish. I dropped to the hourly chart. Things are looking very bullish there as well. So until we start to see some evidence of price maybe showing some signs that we're about to sell off, then we can start talking about some shorts and taking price down. And there could be some nice intraday setups there for us. But right now, things are very bullish. And of course, like I said, if price does go and break through that daily level of resistance here, then we most likely are going to push straight back to that high. So in that case, if this kind of intraday bullish setup does continue, you're kind of looking for some pullback somewhere to keep riding that momentum up, really. If this keeps pushing and maybe find a break and retest somewhere like that. Of course, this is very hypothetical. We'll wait for price to give us more price action, and I can be a bit more specific in terms of the setup. But right now we're trading at an area where we could start to see some downside. If I look to the left on the 4-hour chart as well, as you can see, a bit of an area of supply here too, where we did consolidate there and did see a pretty strong move to the downside. So we are in kind of bearish territory right now, although the trend is up. This is not the best place to buy. But if the market does persist through this and start to continue with the higher lows, I would just say look for some pullbacks, probably on the hourly chart. And yeah, there's a pretty good chance that we do push back to the high there at 2.025. If, of course, we do see some signs of reversal, lower highs, then yeah, we can talk about that when it does happen. But I feel like it's very early doors right now. Price just got to an area where we could turn around. Let's wait for signs of that happening, and then we can start talking about some shorts. At the moment, things look very bullish, and I wouldn't really touch price, to be honest, with pound Aussie. I'll go through NAS, and then I'll start to go through the yen pairs as well. Yeah, of course, better at blocking emotions. Easier said than done, but it really is a big part to play in trading. Sometime last year, I didn't have the courage to take another trade, even when I see the right setup as part of the game. Now I'm profitable. Exactly, Philip. That's that is yeah, that's a part of the journey. Yeah, of course. Having a healthy break as well, Matt, will definitely help with that. Trading, although it's very kind of just on the charts, but it does take a toll mentally as well, especially if you're lacking confidence. Trading can be one of the most stressful things ever. When you're confident and you know what you're doing, then even when you do go through drawdown, it's not such a big deal. Of course, drawdown's not fun, but you can always ride the drawdown because you know that if you keep playing these setups, that you will see the profits and the returns you're looking for. But if you do go into a bit of drawdown and you start to spiral out of control mentally, then there is no coming back for you. You're gonna likely lose the account, or yeah, likely lose the account. So sometimes you need to go through those process to realize, okay, you still got to stay at it. You can't slouch anywhere, because you will be punished for it. You will be punished. So yeah, I think it's just a part of the learning journey. Of course, it's not great. You want it to be kind of just linear, just in one direction, but it's never that in anything in life really. It's always kind of lefts, rights, up and downs. It's never just one straight line. But yeah, I would just take a break, keep going, and yeah, just learn from mistakes really. Anyway, let's go through NAS 100. So yeah, with NAS, looks like, oh, okay. Did we get to the gap? No, not quite. So it looks like we're stuck at some resistance right now on the hourly chart, failing to break through. Excuse me. I said yesterday there's still a pretty good chance that we do at least get to the bottom of that gap, because I do think this gap's going to fill at some point. The bigger move for NAS is still likely to the upside, back to the all-time highs up at that high. We respected support pretty well. So I'm still pretty bullish on NAS. I have to admit the price action is not very clean. US 30 looks a lot better. I haven't actually looked at US 30. I need to go check it out. And of course, S&P looks okay, but I think US 30 looks the best. In terms of NAS, this is still the move I'm looking for. So I would still be pretty bullish on this one. In terms of buying the market, that's where it becomes a little bit difficult, because now is not really the best time to buy. As we approach the high there, especially after the price just rejected it, not really the time and place to be looking to buy NAS. If price was to push back down again, this could provide a nice setup to take some longs, especially if the gap hasn't been filled yet, because there's still a good probability that gap is going to be filled. So if you can catch some lows down here, can probably ride that up back to the highs there at least, but most likely to go and fill the gap. We have formed these higher lows here, so kind of looking for that to continue and go fill the gap. And probably once we do that, we're probably going to push back to the highs, or again, at least the highs there at 21,930. So yeah, very bullish with NAS, but it looks like we're struggling to break the high. So now's not the time to be looking to take any longs. I would strongly advise waiting for at least a pullback to the lows here, because at least when you're down here, you can find a nice little stop loss and still anticipate some upside. Whereas, of course, buying now at current price doesn't really make too much sense. Doesn't mean we can't break to the upside, but just you don't really want to be buying into that resistance, especially after such a strong rejection there. So yeah, still very bullish on NAS. I do think that gap's likely to fill, but let's see if we can get a bit of a correction first and find some entries maybe closer to the 21,300 area before looking to buy. But yeah, I do still see price pushing higher. Okay, so I'll go take a look at UJ and I think Euro Yen. Ahmed, you did request that early, didn't you? Yeah, true. I mean, of course, you can take a mental break as well, where you don't do anything in the charts as well. But yeah, I would advise that during that break as well, you do find time to kind of go back over your mistakes. I think in terms of break, I think the best thing to do is just not actively trade, because that's where you're gonna do the most damage. Because if you need to take a break, you're clearly not in the right mindset to be trading. So you need to at least stop that. But of course, I would advise going back over, reviewing trades, looking at your back testing, doing some more back testing as well, making sure that you're fully confident with that edge is the most important thing. So yeah, you do need some time off, probably away from the charts completely as well. But before you do step back onto the charts, I would highly recommend, of course, looking back over past trades and making sure you're back testing to making sure everything's up to scratch. In terms of dollar yen, so yeah, dollar yen, I'm still looking to buy this one. It's not looking as good as I want it to be honest, but I'll see what we can do at this high. I'm looking for some shorts again, essentially looking for the continuation of that leg for a continuation. Well, continuation for a continuation. I'm saying that word a lot. But I'm looking for this to be the pullback for price to continue back to the highs. And so far, we are seeing the characteristics of that. This move has been pretty impulsive, whereas this move has been pretty corrective. So to me, it's still giving me the behaviors of what I would expect in a trending market: impulse correction, impulse correction. And because we are taking our time, moving pretty slow, it does look like we probably will form that higher low to continue at least back to the highs there. But like as I've been saying, expecting a push back to 161.780 in the long run there. So yeah, very, very bullish for dollar yen. We are coming back to that support level. I'll see what we can do in terms of entries, because that's more or less where I want to find my entries. Coming back into this range here on the left, and of course tapping into that 50 as well of the fib as well. So I know at least we're having a healthy pullback as well. So I will be looking for entries here to take this higher. And if things look good, I'll find my entries and target at least the highs here for dollar yen. And hopefully things go well. I can leave some positions to run and possibly target that 162 area there as well. So yeah, very, very bullish on dollar yen, which is, of course, interesting because I'm pretty sure the other yen pairs are looking pretty bearish. So, of course, if I don't see the rejection I'm looking for and price does start slipping through the cracks and breaking through, I will back away a little bit from dollar yen. You may still see that move a little bit further down than expected, but I need to be careful, especially if yen is just going to be strong, then we are going to see the yen pairs fall. But for now, this is still an area I'm interested for some longs. It still obeys the market structure. So that's still the most important thing for me. There's your low, of course, after create that higher high, another higher high. Now I'm looking for that higher low for another push up. So that very much is the plan there for dollar yen. And in terms of euro yen, yeah, euro yen looking very bearish actually. I think from an intraday point of view, shorts look pretty good with this one. We're seeing momentum on the lower time frames, breaking through lows there pretty well. So again, if you could see another correction, I do think that could be a nice short intraday, maybe coming back to retest the lows here. That could provide some nice opportunities, and you got a major low there on the 4-hour daily chart to target around the 159.784 area. So in my book, intraday, euro yen actually does look pretty good. I've been saying I don't really like price action for euro yen, and I still don't really. On the 4-hour time frame, it's still pretty flat. There's your highs, there's your lows down here, and the market has been fluctuating up and down. So the price action hasn't been great, but what I can say from an intraday point of view, We have broke structure. If I drop back to the hourly chart, we have broke out this bullish structure here when we took out this low here, and then the market has now been forming lower highs, and we've just seen a pretty nice break to the downside with some healthy momentum. So there's a good chance on the hourly time frame that we are set to see more downside. So pullbacks do look good. Trying to find the next lower high, then you've got a really big level of support to target, which I would say there's a good chance we do come and test. But whether we go and break through that low and see a big push back up again, or we do break through, of course, we'll wait to see what price does give us. If we do break through this low, however, that probably will start to interest me on the 4-hour chart, and I'll start to look for something like that on the 4-hour. So, yeah, that would something that would interest me. But yeah, at the moment, I do fancy a bit more downside for Euro yen back into 159.9. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at. Yeah, I mean, if you know what you did wrong, I mean, that's 50% of solving the problem, really, isn't it? Knowing what you did wrong, knowing what the mistake was, and then focusing on that. Because if you do make a mistake, then that should be your kind of priority in terms of when you get back to trading, or making sure that you don't make that same mistake again. Because you'll always make new mistakes. We're all human, we're not perfect. You will make new mistakes, but if you can not repeat the old one, then you're progressing. Yeah, I would highly recommend that as well. When you're on break, do more back testing. I think the important thing is just not trading live, really. Of course, you can keep up date with price action, but in terms of placing trades, because if you're on a break, then you're still placing trades. Are you really on a break? So I think it's healthy, kind of just not take any new trades, just focus on your past trades, and build confidence back up again. Yeah, very, very true. At FTJ, you don't have to trade every day. That's true as well. That is very, very true. But yeah, again, you don't need to trade every day. Not every day is a trading day. Not every day will provide a good setup. Because again, at the end of the day, we're looking to trade good opportunities. We're not here just to trade for the fun of it. We're looking to make gains here. So at the end of the day, if there's a good opportunity, you look to take it. If the opportunity is not that great, then there's no point really taking it. Of course, you reduce your risk if you want to, but um, the more good opportunities you take, the better your results will be. Okay, okay. Okay, so the market conditions change, and then that's what threw you off. Getting trades early at loss until the account was gone. Okay, winning but I had. Yeah, I think. All right, take care. We'll have a good one, my man. We'll catch you tomorrow. So yeah, I think once you get into that kind of mindset where you're kind of in panic mode or fear mode or defense mode, you're not really trading, because if you want to trade profitably, you have to be not scared to lose. So if you are scared to lose, it means that you won't be trade as well as you should do, because when you're in a trade and you're floating profit, you'd be scared to lose the floating profit, therefore you close early, or you'd be in a bit of drawdown, you don't want to take the full loss, so you close early as well. So you're not really allowing your trade or your edge to play out, because you're intervening at every single opportunity, every single moment that you do become fearful. So once you do become a bit fearful, just like becoming too overly confident, the other side of the spectrum, you won't be trading as you should be doing, and that of course will jeopardize your edge. So yeah, I think once you do get into that mindset, just step back from trading, because whatever you're going to do is not going to be optimal, and yeah, try and focus back on the edge. As long as you keep the attention towards the edge, money, um, pips, that's all a byproduct of your action. So if you can focus on your edge, which of course easier said than done, but that's where your attention should be, it will make trading so much easier and way less stressful. Okay, let me go through the rest of the yen pairs. Let me take a look at pound yen. Yeah, we'll go through pound yen. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I am doing good. I'm doing good. What's up, Alex? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good as well. Gold US 30. Okay, we'll take a look at those. Um, yeah, true. Managing the risk as well. Managing the risk as well. Need just someone to give you a good slap and snap you out of it. Yeah, I bet that probably would have helped as well. Yes, Mr. Neo, we'll take a look at pound yen. So actually, pound yen actually like the price action a little bit more now. Um, Again, it's looking a tad bearish at the moment. I mean, it's still quite choppy, but if price was to push back to the high here, I would actually like to take some shorts from there. Again, being precautious because we are still forming those higher lows. If I go back to the daily chart, we've got one over there, second, third, fourth. We are still slowly stacking them up. We could very well form another one and go against me there. But I know if I can get an entry here, especially a really nice one, maybe a few wicks at the high there, um, by the time price does get into an area where we could see that fifth higher low form, I should be well into profit and hopefully risk removed. Maybe I do end up walking away for break even, but things go my way, it could be turned into a pretty big winner. So for pound yen, I do expect more downside. Essentially looking for the continuation of this bearish leg here, really strong drop to the downside. This is still a very corrective move. I haven't really seen much momentum that tells me that we are going to see a big push to the upside yet. Of course, things were looking pretty bullish here, but we came back down pretty strongly. And since then, we've been pretty corrective as a whole. So this price action here looks like a pullback for more downside, especially with such a big drop there on our left. So I do expect to see some follow through. If we can take out the lows here, that's when I do think pound yen's going to have that big sell. So that's really what I'll keep an eye out for. If not, we're probably going to form that number 5, that fifth higher low, and probably have a bigger move to the upside. But for now, this is really where I want to plan my entries. At the moment, we're back at support. So, of course, not the best time to be looking to take any trades, especially if you're shorting. Maybe if you're looking to buy, sure. But in terms of shorts, that's what makes the most sense for me. So that's really where I want to get involved. And then hopefully at least target the lows there. But yeah, I'm pretty bearish on pound yen. Excuse me, my voice is playing up. Mr. Nee, let me know what you're looking at for pound yen. I'm pretty bearish on this one. Looks like we are seeing some strength with the yen at the moment. Pound yen's down, euro yen's down, dollar yen's down as well. I think probably all the yen pairs are down. We'll go through them shortly, but looks like yen is a little bit strong at the moment. For you, Jay, I think price might do a pullback to 155 level and then sell off. I can see a long setup from 151.6. Hope I'm correct when it all plays out. Don't we all, Chris? Alex, I will go through gold and US 30 now, and then I'll go finish off the rest of the yen pairs. What's up, CS Integrated? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Yeah, I feel like that's when you kind of realize how big of a part to play mindset does have in trading, because people always focus on the charts and the technicals and the whatever in terms of your strategy, which is of course very, very important. Without it, you won't go anywhere. But in terms of keeping a solid, confident mindset is very, very important as well, especially in times of drawdown, because the moment you slip up and you're not kind of right to trade mentally, everything can go out the bin really, really easily. So keeping a strong mindset is very important, and I think something to actually actively work on as well. Okay, let me quickly go through gold and US 30, then I'll finish off the yen pairs. So yeah, gold looking very bullish at the moment. Looks like we're probably destined to go and take out the all-time highs down the left. We're looking very, very bullish here intraday. I was looking for the setup at 27.20, but it does not look like we're going to see that retest anymore. And price is just going to keep pushing to the upside. So I would say if you're looking for gold, keep an eye out for any pullbacks. Really, maybe a retest that high could look good around 27.65. But yeah, gold is looking exceptionally bullish right now, and new highs past 27.90, which is the all-time highs. I think we probably will see it maybe by the end of the week. To be honest, that's how bullish gold is looking right now. So yeah, if you can find some corrections, yeah, I would be looking at some longs there and looking to take that one to the highs. And of course, we do have that big psychological level just above us at 2,800. I do think price is likely to go and take that out as well. So yeah, very, very bullish on gold. In terms of US 30, I'm pretty bullish on this one as well. I haven't actually looked at US 30 since yesterday. So okay, so we did see that correction then. So again, with US 30 expecting us to take out that high. Yesterday I was talking about a correction back to either retest the high here, which didn't play out well, or the high there, which did play out pretty well, and price bounced pretty well from that level. So it looks like we're probably just going to push on now and go and take up the highs. Of course, we do have some resistance just above us, but I would expect us to break through that. So yeah, new highs past 45.098 is pretty likely at this point in time now. And yeah, very, very bullish in US 30. So in terms of, again, another entry to look out for, because let's say if you didn't catch that pullback yesterday, I would then say it does become a little bit difficult now because we're running out of room to work with. Again, if price was to go and break the high and have another correction, probably in the 15-minute, that's probably what you're looking at now. That could be a nice buy there. I would be careful about buying the first correction after we take up the all-time high, because we tend to have a bit of a strong move back down, or we might just keep flying. But as soon as we take out major highs, I'm always wary about taking the first pullback. I'll kind of want to see what price does, how we react, whether we sell off or we just keep pushing, and then afterwards the pullbacks might be a bit more attractive to trade. But yeah, if we can break the high again, get some type of correction, maybe in the 15-minute, that's probably what you're looking for in terms of a continuation, in terms of an entry. But we are pretty likely to take up the highs on the left. In terms of dollar yen, Chris, you mentioned a few levels there. Let's take a look. So you said price might have a pullback to 155. Okay. So 155 there. And sell off. Okay, so you're looking at the intraday timeframes. Let me scale down. Okay, I see what you mean there. Price may give us that pullback. It is starting to consolidate right now. May see something like that for a continuation. We are pretty consistent with these lower highs here. Could see price potentially form another one before continuing back to the low. And then sell off back to 151.6, which is down there. Looking at a pretty big move there back into this area. How come you're looking at 150? Oh, that's 152. 151.6 is roughly there. How come you're looking at 151.6? What confluence or reason for that particular price? I can only see a long setup from the 151.6 level. I hope I'm correct when it all plays out. And don't we all, Chris? Don't we all? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty bullish as well. The idea is looking for a continuation of that bullish leg. This is where my confidence lies. So I'll be looking for entries in that area. It's not looking as great as I want it to be honest. If we can kind of slow down, become a bit more corrective, maybe give some strong wicks there, that's kind of what I'll be looking for in terms of entries. If we don't really see the rejection I'm after, then I'll stay away. Maybe we are going to get that bigger correction into your area there. For that long, but as long as we kind of maintain this bullish structure, I'm looking for dollar yen to find a higher low somewhere to push back to the highs, and hopefully I can be a part of that. But yeah, for now, 154, 153.5 is the area I'm looking at, and from intraday point of view, you probably will see some more shorts for us to get there. So there might be a nice intraday sell there. Okay, so I'll go through the rest of the yen pairs. Past the 10K small account whilst below the 100. Yeah, I think that's a big part to play with psychology because, of course, 100K not as much, 10K, sorry, not as much on the line with as with the 100K account. So you're probably a bit more relaxed, whereas 100K you kind of feel every single pip a little bit more because you're trading with more money, bigger lot size, more on the line. So you feel every kind of tick of price in your direction and against you as well. But for a small account, um, you won't feel it as much, so you can be a bit more focused in terms of the price action. So yeah, I mean, again, with trading, there's so many different parts to take into consideration, and I think before you do get onto the charts, if you can check with yourself if you're in the right place to trade, that can probably help save a lot of money, to be honest, because your edge will give back money to the market as every edge will have drawdown and periods of losing as well. So you don't want to add to that and make it worse by getting in the way of yourself and making more mistakes. So making sure you're kind of in the right mindset to trade is very important as well. Anyway, let's go to CAD JPY. We'll take a look at Swiss yen as well, and then Aussie and New Zealand yen too. So CAD JPY just about taking at the low. So again, very, very corrective. I'm not really a big fan of CAD yen. Again, I like the price action in the higher time frames. I do think we are getting ready for a really big sell to take out these lows. And we have a lovely correction here, lovely bearish leg. So the way I see it long term is that this is likely to move, a big continuation. So that's really what I'm working towards here in 2025. The yen pair is absolutely melting up the sky. That's kind of what I'm working towards here, making sure if I can try and catch those positions. At the moment, CAD Gen is just very, very corrective right now, so it's not really giving me much confidence to try and get involved in this sequence here. So either if price can pick up momentum from somewhere, see a nice move to the downside, then the next pullback is something I could be interested in getting involved with. Or if price does have a bigger push to the upside, preferably back to the highs here on the left, then I can look for some entries up there because I know I'm in a safe place. I can find a nice stop loss above the high, and of course maximize my risk reward should we see that same swing. But of course, this move here is a pretty big ask. We need a lot of momentum for that to happen, and we're not really seeing much signs of that happening at the moment. So this is probably the more realistic opportunity in terms of shorting CAD Gen. But at the moment, we haven't seen that momentum either. So I really need to see CAD Gen really take charge here, see some really strong momentum, break the lows well, and then I'll be looking for some type of lower high at around 107. We have been pretty consistent with the lower highs here, so let's see if we can keep that up. But we really do need to see some momentum come back if I'm going to look to take any entries. But yeah, Kajian very bearish on. It's either we get the big sell up there, or price kind of picks up momentum and we get some sells on some pullbacks a little bit lower down. But yeah, in terms of direction, I'm pretty bearish. Same as Euro yen, same as pound yen. In terms of Aussie yen, actually, let me go to Swiss yen first, and then I'll go through Aussie and New Zealand yen afterwards. So CHF JPY is actually not looking too bad, to be honest. We had that strong support level there. So price was kind of messing around, bouncing on that area. But we did get a really strong break of that support level. It looks like price is just about pinched the lows here as well, but I'm more or less still trading at that support level. So with CHF JPY, another yen pair, which again, I expect to absolutely melt the sky in 2025 at some point. Um, Hopefully sooner rather than later, but I do expect to see a pretty big move with this one. So I'm looking for some shorts. Really, I'm not really interested in any longs, really. So in terms of opportunities, if we can kind of pick up the pace a little bit, which we are doing here. So let's just see if we can sustain that through those lows on the left. That would be great. Then the next pullback after will be something I'll look to try and get involved with. I have to watch out for the lows there, but I still see price breaking through those and the lows here as well. But again, I still see price breaking through those. So very, very bearish on CHF JPY. We're still maintaining the bearish structure, which was the key important thing with Swiss yen. Price action wasn't looking great yesterday, but now with this newfound momentum, things are looking good. And that's the same situation with CAD yen. at the moment, price is looking very choppy. I'm not really such a big fan of the bearish structure here, but should we see a strong bearish leg, that would change everything, and that would show me that, okay, momentum's with the bears, and I'll be looking for continuations, possibly on the retest of one of those lows there. So then it becomes attractive to trade, at least for the patterns I look for and how I want to trade. So that's really what I'm looking for there for CAD Yen. Same thing for CGF JPY as well, Swiss Yen. We're seeing momentum, so let's hope this does really continue, then find some pullback somewhere, maybe in the retest of that low, and we find some continuation. In terms of Aussie Yen, yeah, this is still in the range. It seems some nice downside, to be fair, nice momentum there, but again, we're coming right back into some steady support. So until we kind of break through that, I can't really look to do much. But again, once we do break through, then I am looking for a push, pretty much all the way to that wick low there. So if we do see a steady break of this, I do think there will be some nice shorts to take advantage of in the next coming weeks. And likewise, if we do break to the upside, I think there'll be some really nice longs to take advantage of as well. Back to the high here, and then I'll be looking for the exact same move all the way back down again. Very, very bearish long term in these yen pairs. I do think these lows will be taken out at some point. Of course, it could still be a while. It could still be 2, 3, 4, 5 months before we do that. But that's the direction on the higher time frames I'll be looking to trade in. Doesn't mean I won't take longs. Like I said, if you do break to the upside, I'll still be more than happy to take some buys. But I would expect us to turn around at some point, and those are the sells I'll be looking to try and get involved with. But yeah, with Aussie Yen, either which way, I don't really mind which way we break out. Like I said, I'm expecting price to get there, but we might push up first, then drop, or we might just drop. So yeah, if Aussie Yen can pick up the pace, break the lows, then I'll start looking for some type of corrections there. And New Zealand Yen pretty much doing the exact same thing as well. Lovely correction there, consolidation, sorry. Lovely consolidation, trap between those two levels. Again, with New Zealand Yen, I'm expecting price to eventually take out this wick low here. And yeah, so if you do see a confident break of support here, I'll be looking for corrections and hopefully some selling opportunities all the way down to those lows. Likewise, if you do break to the upside, then I'll be looking for price to push back into the high here. Then from there, I'll be expecting the big sell to kick in and a big push back to 83. So either which way, doesn't really matter to me which way we break out. I mean, if I could choose, I probably would say to the upside actually, because hopefully I can take advantage of some buys and then take advantage of a colossal sell from that high. So that probably would be more profitable, but equally, if I can find some winning trades down here, who am I to complain? So yeah, that's really the plan there with Aussie Yen and New Zealand Yen. Not interested in price action in the middle at all. Yeah, if you're looking to play the range, of course, do what you need to do. There was some nice buys from last week. Was that the week before? Nice sells from last week as well. Yeah, last week. So the market has been respecting the low and the high of the range pretty well. And there could be some more buys coming up. But yeah, I'm waiting for the breakout, and then hopefully you can get some opportunities there. In terms of the yen baskets, what are we doing over there? Oh, okay. So back into resistance. Okay, we're now into make or break territory now for the yen basket. Are we going to respect this high and come back down again, or are we going to break through and kickstart that yen sell off really? Because as this does push up, yen will also become strong as well. So the yen pairs will fall. So yeah, if this does push up, that'll be very interesting. If you can break the high equally, if we do respect the high there, we could have a really big sell as well. So it can go both ways. It just depends how price wants to hold this level. I'm going to keep a close eye on the yen basket now, because this is a very important level. If price does respect this, we probably will turn around. But yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with the yen pairs. Okay, where was I? Yeah, of course, greed is another one to battle with. I mean, I think fear and greed, they're just opposite sides of the same spectrum, and both detrimental, really, both detrimental. Yeah, of course, drawdown's tough. Drawdown's tough. I have to say the one thing about drawdown though, the more times you go into drawdown and get back out of it, the easier it is to trade in drawdown because if you look at yourself trading in profit, if your equity curves at new highs or close to new highs versus when you're trading in drawdown, you almost can be two different traders really. One you're a little bit more overly confident, other one you're a bit more fearful, taking less trades, maybe missing some setups, maybe closing trades a little bit early. Whereas when your equity curves at new highs and you're in some healthy profit, then you probably trying to stretch trades a little bit further. You're not too picky with trades maybe as well. So you can kind of be two different people, two different traders, really. Ideally, you want to be the same trader in both situations, really. But yeah. But the more you go into drawdown, the more you get out of it. It just becomes routine, really. 0.3 losses add up quick. I bet they do, Matt. Okay, cool. Great to hear, Tom. Rob M5. Okay, I will take a look at silver for you, no problem. Finally lost your marble as well. Make sure you go find those marbles again, Matt, before you start trading. Go find those marbles. Okay, so I'll go through silver. So yeah, silver is kind of a weird one. Gold's looking very bullish at the moment in time, and looks like it's set to make new all-time highs. Yeah, it's definitely heading that way. So of course, gold and silver being highly correlated. I always look at both of them when I'm looking at one of them. If that makes sense, I always keep an eye on the other one because if one looks bullish and the other looks bearish, that's when things get a little bit weird. But if they both look bullish, that's when you can find some really nice in sync setups and potentially you can take some really big winners. And it looks like silver's trying to catch up with gold. We had price kind of break out of this channel here, and I wondered if silver was going to sell off, but we didn't. We kind of faked to go down, put a high low in, and now we're actually breaking the highs there. So I think silver's kind of faked to go down, and now we might see some newfound momentum. And then afterwards, I was looking for a correction, possibly the retest of the high there for some buys because I still see silver pushing it all the way back to the high there and go to the daily time frame. So again, with silver, just looking at this trend pretty much continuing. So you've got the low there, the higher low, the higher high. So again, anticipating that this is the next higher low in comparison to that previous high low there. And of course, if that is the higher low, then you expect us to at least get back to the high, but most likely create new highs, of course, if the trend's going to continue. So with silver, that's where's the price going. That's the target I have for silver. And the beauty of it is that we're very far away. So, if silver can start to put in some nice bullish structure here, because we have been pretty corrective. But like I said, hopefully we break this high and see some nice momentum now. If you can see a nice trend, there could be numerous opportunities to ride silver to the upside here, all the way back to the high. And that's really what I'm looking for. And hopefully you can get some pullbacks to get involved and hopefully maybe a retest of that level as well. But it's not quite ready yet to be bought, at least with my plans. So I'm waiting for that. But it looks like we're starting to take shape. We're breaking the highs there. Let's hope that momentum can continue. And then we'll look for some pullbacks afterwards. And also, I will keep a close eye on this high there because you might still tap into that area and sell off. But if we can break the high, then yeah, there's a very high chance we're getting to that high there. So yeah, that's really what I'm looking at for silver. Trained for 2 years, so used to the drawdown, but after being also for a month, I forgot what it feels like. Yeah, you do, you do, because you think like, okay, once when I start to get a bit of a rhythm, a consistency, and your equity curve is going up and up and up, you forget that you're due at one of them ones. You're due to go down at some point. Um, So like I said, I think once you start to find consistency in the markets, you're gonna have a big humble because throughout the however long you've been looking to trade and learn trading for, whether it's 1 year, 2, 3, 5 years, once you do find your feet in the market, you're like, okay, all of that effort, all of that time of losing and being unprofitable is finally out the window, and now my equity curve is just flying. But even with profitable, even being profitable, your equity curve will look like this. It will have some down days and some times of consolidation. Of course, it will have times where you make a bunch of money and hit a lovely winning streak, but then you will give some back. It's all part of the process. So when you're here, you kind of forget about all the times that you potentially will go through some drawdown. So normally, when you do make new highs pretty aggressively, you normally do come back down just as hard. Not necessarily because of your edge, but because of individual mistakes you'll likely make as well. um, which again, um, it's very very hard to find a discretionary trader that won't make any mistakes. So you will have the losing trades you will naturally take with your edge, but then of course a few extra probably um, due to individual mistakes as well. So if you can try and balance that out as much as possible, your equity curve will be smoother for it. But yeah, once you try and find your feet in the market, you always go through a bit of a crash out, which I think is what you're going through there, Matt. So at least that's out the way. I think the most important thing now is just learn from the mistakes, really. Otherwise, you'll do it again in like a couple of months' time. You'd be flying high, and then you just give everything back pretty soon after. Yeah, that is true. To be fair, that's true, Holly. 2 years isn't a lot of time. I mean, it's a lot of time, but in the world of training, it isn't really. Still got a lot of experience to gain, Matt. To be honest, that actually might be true. To be honest, the best time to start trading challenge is when you're in drawdown. That's actually not a bad, a bad tip, actually. To be honest, because especially because a lot of people probably start trading challenges when their equity curves at new highs, when everything's going well, because then you'd be confident to take a trading challenge. But normally, that's when you're going to have a bit of a dip pretty soon. So actually, I like the psychology behind that. It actually makes a lot of sense. Sometimes swings anyway to go. True. Swing is a bit more. I mean, scalping you can definitely blow up a lot quicker as well if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, scalping is just it's an aggressive style. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you can do it, but I think slow and steady is normally the better way forward in general because especially when you're doing a challenge, it's not normal trading because there's added pressure to it. It's not like you just got a personal account and you're trading it steadily. There's a bit more added pressure, so you have to warrant for that as well. Yeah, of course, Chris. Mistakes are inevitable, but it's a disaster when you go against your trading plan consistently. I agree. I agree as well. Because yeah, you won't never make a mistake. Like accidentally take a trade that you shouldn't take. Like there's been times where I'm looking to take a position like buy pound USD, but then I accidentally buy pound CAD. I've done that a few times before just because I haven't been fully concentrating. I analyzing the charts. I'm about to take on my MT4. I think I'm about to buy pound USD, but I accidentally buy pound CAD, and then you only realize 5 hours later that you bought the wrong wrong currency pair. So stuff like that will happen as well. Silly stuff like that, and also times where you deviate from your plan. You kind of find a cheeky trade here to take that doesn't quite fit my plan, but I'll take it anyway. That trade won't ruin your trading career. One trade that doesn't fit your plan is not going to be the end of you. It's just one trade. As long as you're managing your risk, betting your whole account on it, it's not going to be the end of you. But if you do that again every week, every month, it will add up to a point where you don't even know what your plan is anymore. So you have to stay in line with that. Exactly. You are due one of them ones, 100%. You are due one of them ones. It's all part of the trading, and nothing good comes easy as well. So if trading feels a little bit too easy at some point, just know that you're gonna get humbled pretty soon. I feel like that's just a natural expectation. Anyway, let me go through some of the CAD pairs. We did have the CAD interest rate yesterday. Um, I didn't actually check to see the. Let me check the result. I'm still looking to short New Zealand CAD. That's still where my focus lies at the moment. Um, so yesterday, Bank of Canada. Okay, so yeah, it came out as expected. Rates did drop from 3.25 to 3. So yeah, I mean with New Zealand CAD, I'm still looking to short this one. It has dipped a little bit, but haven't really seen much there. So I mean, with New Zealand CAD, the idea is I'm looking for a push back to the high here, and then hopefully a sell from that area, and then hopefully a swing all the way back to the lows. Again, there's a lot of confluence in this area for me. We do have the descending trend line connecting those lower highs up. One, I mean, almost two over there, but one, two, and then possibly three. Doesn't quite line up with that high there, but more or less we're seeing lower highs in this area. We've come back into this consolidation here on the left. Lovely consolidation, really strong move to the downside, and has prices just come back into that area. So I know that there's a lot of selling pressure there as well. And I believe we've pulled back into the 0.618 of that Fibonacci as well. So really healthy area for a short. And if I can see price come back to that high, double top it, see a nice rejection there, maybe some wicks as well. That'd be really nice in terms of an entry. And we're looking to target right back down at the lows there. And should be looking at pretty decent risk reward. And from a daily point of view, I expect us to actually push all the way back down to the lows here and make some new lows past that point as well. So New Zealand CAD is firmly on the watch list. It's probably, yeah, along with dollar yen, probably along with dollar yen, my favorite pair at the moment, or favorite setup at the moment. Not necessarily favorite pair, it's a very choppy pair, but it's a nice setup. So I like what I'm seeing here. So yeah, dollar yen and New Zealand CAD look equally as good. And again, that's the breakup of the channel we've had recently. So expecting us to push into this low and most likely break through. So if I can catch that lower high there, that would be much appreciated. And then hopefully swing it back into 0.79. Done that too, looking to buy US 30 and then find yourself selling gold. And your eyes pop out like a cartoon. Yeah, 100%. Holy one, 100%. Done actually a few times, to a point where I have to double check on making sure I'm actually doing the right thing. Am I actually buying pound USD? I need to make sure I'm doing that. But yeah, that would definitely make my eyes jump out. If I'm looking to buy US 30, but actually I'm selling gold, that would definitely make my eyes jump out. My fear is making a mistake and then the trade wins. That's a funny. I mean, that's it. Again, the thing is, you will make mistakes and profit from it as well, which kind of gives you false hope that you should do it again. But again, it's probability at the end of the day. You can take a bad trade and it wins. That's not unheard of course. And you can take a good trade and it fails as well, of course. So, yeah, that is funny though. Yeah, I would say so as well, Chris. I think just getting used to whatever your process is. You don't want to be trading on the daily chart one day and trading on the 5-minute chart the next day. There's no consistency in that. So whatever your process is in terms of what times are you going to be looking at trades, which time frames you're going to be looking to enter with and manage trades, what market's going to be trading, how you form your watch lists, how many pairs on your watch list, all of that in detail. If you can have that kind of mapped out, exactly what you're doing from a day-to-day basis if you're trading, if it can be almost as systematic as possible, you're setting yourself up for to succeed, really, because there's consistency in your approach. If you're kind of just turning up to the charts randomly, today I'm going to trade the London, then next I'm going to trade the Asian session, and then maybe I might trade New York the following day. Of course, if that's within your plan, then that's different. But if you're doing it spontaneously, then of course you're not going to find consistency there. Yeah, that is true as well, Matt. That is true. Trading different account sizes and then taking the wrong size on the wrong account, that could be game over. 100K account, 10K account. If you're risking a bit on the 100K and you put down the 10K, wave goodbye to that 10K. Again, like mistakes like this is going to happen. Of course, you don't want to make them. Of course, you should never really try and give an excuse for a mistake, but it's really inevitable. Just like in any profession, I always compare trading to sports. And you got professional athletes at the top of their game making mistakes as well. So if they're making mistakes, how are we not going to make mistakes? I think that just the biggest mistake you can't really afford to make, at least consistently, is just your risk management. If you're gonna risk 2% or 1% or 3% per trade, you want to stick to that. You don't now go put 20% on the position. That's the mistake you can't really afford to make. Maybe you do get away with it once or twice, but it's gonna come back to bite you. As Matt says, they're taking a wrong lot size on the account you shouldn't be taking. Eventually, that will come back to bite you. Of course, it could be a winning trade, and you go and hit your targets very, very quickly. So there is the other side of the coin to it, but yeah, you do it enough times, it will come back and punish you 100%. So that's the only really mistake you can't really afford to make, at least consistently. Again, taking a trade you shouldn't take, or not following your plan today, of course, you shouldn't do that either, but it's not going to make or break you as a trader. An important thing is just to dust it off and make sure the next trade you take is just 100% following your plan and you stick with that. I mean, the better you can stick to your plan and follow it, the better you will be for it. So I'm not condoning you should occasionally not follow your plan, but I'm just saying if you do, it's not gonna derail your trading career completely. But if you risk too much, that could definitely not derail your career as well, but definitely put it on pause for a little bit. Pound CAD looking good as well. Okay, I'll take a look at Pound CAD there for you, Chris. Let's take a look. I'm not really a big fan of Pound CAD. I like New Zealand CAD. Aussie CAD looks okay as well, but I think New Zealand CAD looks a lot better. In terms of Pound CAD, we do have a pretty big resistance just above us over here, which is at 1.81, and price has been rejected now on a few occasions here. So originally coming into the week, I said Pound CAD is probably likely to make a push back to the high there, and then we might sell off from there. Looks like we're finding some resistance at the moment and struggling to break through that area on the left. I mean, if we do look to the left here on the 4-hour chart, this is a nice area of supply where we danced here for a little bit. You can see consolidation there, and eventually, drops the downside. So there's a lot of bearish momentum from this area, and of course, looks like we're retesting some price support, which of course is now turned resistance. So this is bearish territory right now for Pound CAD. Will it give us a move like this and a swing back to the lows? It could do, but I think it's a bit more on the optimistic side of things. I would expect to see maybe a bit of a correction because, in fairness, Pound CAD has seen a pretty strong move to the upside here. You had a very rough time over here, but this is a pretty clean bullish move in the past few days. So you probably are due a bit of a correction of that. So I would say a push back down to this area for Pound CAD looks pretty reasonable. And maybe from there, we continue on our path back to the highs as well. So there could actually be a nice place for a buy. But yeah, pound CAD's dropping pretty hard right now. It's dropping pretty. Is pound a bit weak or CAD a bit strong? What's pound USD doing? It's not really moving that much. Let's see Euro CAD. Okay, that is selling off a bit there. Maybe it is a bit of CAD strength coming to the market. But yeah, pound CAD is looking pretty bearish intraday right now. It's definitely an area where it kind of makes sense to see some downside, especially after a really strong bullish move. Haven't seen much of a pullback, so it does need a bit of a pullback at some stage. And coming to this area, looks like it might give us that. Failed to break the highs there twice, once here, second time there. So we might get a bit of a correction now, possibly to continue higher. So yeah, pound CAD does look like it might see a bit of a bearish move, but I'd watch out as we approach. Who said they're looking to buy from here? Someone said they're looking to buy from this area here yesterday. I can't remember who. Yeah, that is true as well, Holy One. Yeah, comparison. What's the saying? Comparing or comparison is the thief of all joy, something like that. It really is, to be fair, in trading as well, because whatever you're doing, there's always someone out there, with a bigger trading account, taking bigger lot sizes, making more profit. Even if you're at the top of your game, there's someone else doing way better than you. So whatever you're doing, is very important to kind of stay focused on your journey, because there's always someone doing better than you, really. Of course, there's nothing wrong with necessarily competing with other people and trying to become better, but you don't want to lead that to make mistakes unnecessarily. But that is a good point as well, which is why social media can be a very sticky place with trading. You can help, you can find people to learn from, but also can probably do just as much harm as well as good. Yeah, exactly. The game is you versus you, especially in a game like this where you can blow up very, very quickly. Yes, Kojo will take a look at the DAX for you, no problem. BTC looks like it wants to break higher. I've actually looked at BTC in a couple of days. Need to have a look at it, and Ethereum as well. Caught the bottom of the pullback. I might be making my nice. Matt's back. Okay, let me take a look at the DAX for you. I think I'll probably take a look at the S&P as well. I haven't looked at that one yet, and then I'll go through some of the CAD pairs, some of the crosses as well. Okay, the DAX is absolutely flying. This one is not messing around at all. Bit of a correction there. When was that? Monday? Yep. And since then, it's been absolutely flying. So, yeah, with the DAX, I did say it would be nice for another retest. I mean, we did a really healthy, textbook break and retest. If you were to look up a break and retest, in a textbook, this is probably the example you will see. I mean, really clean break, really nice, obvious retest at that level, really strong rejection, and the market has absolutely flown from that. So I suggested again, if we could see that happen, that would be brilliant. Another retest of the high, good chance we could see price respect it, but we really pulled away this time. So I think a pullback all this way, although it could happen, maybe it's a bit far fetched. I mean, then again, I didn't expect this pullback to happen as well, because we did have a massive move. So I wasn't necessarily expecting us to pull all the way all that way back down again, but we did. So maybe we do that again. I think this is still a really nice place for a long. But we have created some new structure. Price is broken through the high here. I think that's still a really nice place for a buy as well. If you could see some type of correction, maybe in the hourly chart, that could be a really nice place for an entry. And of course, taking it back to where we came from. Let's say if we top out here, that could be a really nice target to take the DAX back to. But yeah, the thoughts on the DAX really is just that this is looking very, very bullish. I would only be looking to buy it really, especially when the market's showing momentum like this, because of course, at some point we will form a top and we will retrace. we don't move in straight lines forever. We're looking exceptionally bullish here for most of the time, then eventually price completely takes a big turn. So eventually the DAX will do that at some point as well. So of course, stay ready for that. But at the moment, there is no sign of that happening. We had a bit of a sell-off there, but prices ripped to the upside and broken highs again. So now just looking for another pullback, and then more upside back to the high. Until we start to see some signs of reversal, I'll let you guys know. But at the moment, don't really see that happening just yet. Bitcoin, Matt said you caught the low. I assume you're probably talking about this low here, around 98, 99K. Oh, if only you stayed in the trade. Okay, I thought you were still in there. Entered 99,349. 99,349. That's around somewhere here. Yeah, really nice entry. If only you did stay into the trade on the wick for a couple of days ago, but closed later that night when New York pulled back. Okay. Yeah. So when you're in that kind of mindset and you're not kind of really confident in your trading, any type of pullback against you probably freak you out to close a trade. I know I've been there, and I imagine a lot of people in the stream have been there as well. So it's always difficult to trade in that frame of mind. But looking very, very bullish here. I wouldn't say Bitcoin's out the woods just yet. It's a nice wick on the daily chart, I would admit. Really nice wick, taking up the lows there. Looks like, we're trying to push to the upside, but we still have a big, big level of resistance just above us here. And we very much could get there and sell off again very, very easily. So, yes, a nice wick rejection, I have to admit. And we're seeing a pretty strong candle close as well yesterday. So I like that from Bitcoin, but we could just slowly work our way back to the high here and then stay there for a couple of days and then roll back over. So for Bitcoin to get me excited again, I need to see price closing comfortably above this high here, 108K. Then that will get me a bit excited again. If not, I'm kind of still favoring Bitcoin to get there, find resistance, and come straight back down again, because this is a range essentially. Those are equal lows down there around 92K, equal highs around 108K there, and price has just been fluctuating between those two levels. So until I see evidence of a strong break, either way, I'm kind of just looking at Bitcoin as in a range and just a completely flat market. Don't get me wrong, it's still a very bullish market, and this is probably just likely another just a stop, another period where the market wants to consolidate before continuing, just like we had over here. It might be doing that again over here for another big move. So that could very much be the case. But I want to see price give me a candle like that before I get excited again. It doesn't have to be as big as that per se, but at least show me some evidence of price closing above the highs there. Doesn't even have to be the weekly chart. Daily chart will do just fine. And I'll be excited with Bitcoin again. But yeah, I'm bullish on Bitcoin still, but let's break through 108K before I get excited. But yeah, nice momentum on the lower time frames, but we got a big, big level ahead of us. Let me have a quick look at Ethereum. Haven't looked at this one in a few days as well. Which one do I normally look at? Is it Bitstamp? Yeah. Okay, Ethereum. This one looks very boring right now. Again, Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum is still back in the all-time highs, to be honest. I'm still back in the all-time highs. I still think that's where prices like to end up. I still like the fact that we are still putting in some really nice, healthy bullish legs, even though this last bullish leg didn't break the high. It's still showing evidence. This is kind of like a bull flag there. We tried to continue, but it failed. So the way I see it is like this is kind of like a big consolidation, really. And we can still potentially break that high and continue. So I still do fancy Ethereum to continue in the long run. In the short term, however, we may still see another big push back down into support here. If I drop to the 4-hour chart, I don't know. We're starting to move a little bit slower. Back over here, we had a lot of pace in these bearish legs, so things were looking very bearish at that time. And I was fancying price to keep pushing lower, and we did see price push lower. But now we're becoming a bit less demanding in these bearish legs. You can see nice bearish leg there, though, but didn't really pull away that far. We broke the lows there, but not by a lot. So we are becoming a bit more corrective. And because of that, typically when price comes corrective, what do you expect? Eventually a push in the opposite direction. So it does look like Ethereum's kind of consolidating slowly for potentially a big push to the upside. There probably is still a bit more downside left and probably still a bit more intraday opportunities to take Ethereum to the downside. We might even take out the low here and test that daily support first before we do make that move. But because we're not seeing the force anymore to the downside, it leads me to believe that we're just kind of correcting to eventually see a move like that for Ethereum. So it does look like things are slowly changing because this was some really bearish price action on the left here. The equal highs over there, the big break of structure over here, another lower high there as well. Really strong drop, breaking the lows as well. So price was looking pretty bearish not long ago, but now things are becoming a bit more corrective. So it's not ready yet. At least in my view, in my book anyway, it's not quite ready yet to push, but looks like we're getting there. So yeah, maybe we do see Bitcoin and Ethereum break the highs, but yeah, nothing quite there yet. Okay, so USD CAD, I'll take a look at Kojo. I'll go through the rest of the year, rest of the yen pairs, rest of the CAD pairs, and some of the CHF pairs as well. Asim, good morning. Hope you're well. Okay, I'll take a look at pound CAD quickly. Split personality over the accounts. Yeah, trading will do that to you, mate. Trading will do that to you. Let me go through dollar CAD and I'll take a look at pound CAD quickly. So yeah, dollar CAD, just consolidation really. The analysis is pretty simple with this one. Just like with any ranging market, waiting for price to clear the range and then I'll look for momentum afterwards. At the moment, price is just trapped between 1.446 and 1.429. So waiting for price to break out of that range. In terms of where we could head towards once we do that, I'm expanding all the way to the weekly chart, but there's some big levels here to keep in mind. So we've got this massive level weekly resistance just above us at around 1.46. So if you do break to the upside outside of that range, that's what I expect price to get to. Likewise, if you do break to the downside, there is a pretty big level of resistance here, which will be turned support on the weekly time frame, which we could see a push towards again. Not necessarily looking to hold the trade all the way all the way down there to those levels, respectively. But it's nice to know that where potentially could the market reverse next? It could be down at this low, could be back at that high. So those are some nice targets to reference to, not necessarily targets in terms of where to put your TP for a trade. But if you can break the downside, yeah, looking at opportunities on the way down there. Likewise to the upside, but inside of this range, I'll stay away. Of course, if you're looking to try and play the range in terms of shorting the high and buying the low, of course, that's fine as well. That's just not really my type of trade. But hey, if you're going to stay in the range, there will be buying opportunities to try and catch the low and catch the high, and setting opportunities to catch the high there as well. So, if that's what you're looking for, there is a nice range to do that as well. But yeah, that's really what I'm waiting for until we can break out. Okay, so let me take a look at pound CAD quickly. So yeah, with pound CAD, again, I do think price is still likely to push back to the daily resistance above us here. So as you can see, massive resistance here on the daily chart, which respected a few times. Does look like price is likely to make a push there after such a strong reaction from this low here as well. If I drop to the 4-hour chart, looks like things are becoming a little bit stale, struggling to break the high, a bit of consolidation here. As we approach this area of consolidation, the left supply on the left here. So we might see a bit of a breather. We did have a pretty strong move to the upside for pound CAD there. Bit of a breather, and then we might continue our path from this area, 1.78. Nice brief resistance, strong break, yet to come back to retest it. So there's a good chance we do bounce at that same level. So with pound CAD, I do still see more upside for this one. However, at the moment, we're struggling at some supply, failing to break the highs as well. Probably will see price take a bit of a dip there. But I do do fancy more upside for pound CAD in the longer term view. And of course, we'll see what price does at that high, whether we break through or come straight back down again. But yeah, this was a very strong bullish move here, almost like a big V-shaped pattern. So typically these V-shaped patterns normally represent reversal rather than continuation. So 1.81 to me is a likely area we probably will push into. Okay, so I'll go through the rest of the CAD pairs. So I had a look at pound CAD, New Zealand CAD, Euro CAD. Not really a big fan of this one, to be honest. Again, extremely flat, but it looks like we've had a bit of a fake of the high here. It looks like price is now respecting the high and possibly seeing some downside. As to how far we could go, that's where things get a bit sticky, because if I zoom out, look at the bigger picture, this is another market that is kind of ranging as well. So it's not like I've got like an edge in terms of the trend. It's just kind of price respecting the high, really. So we might sell off the full range. You might go halfway. It might just be a dip before we break through. Don't really have too much say of where we are going. So really what I want to see for EuroCAD is a breakout, essentially, because again, I won't know how far we're going either. But if we create a swing high and we pull back, that swing high is always a point of reference to me, because if we are going to form a higher low, I would expect price to at least get back to the swing high. So that's always an expectation in a trending market. If the market is trending, where are we going to go next? Probably back to the high. If not, the trend's probably going to reverse. So I can always use that to my advantage. Whereas in range, you can use the highs and lows to your advantage as well. But this is not really a healthy range, because we haven't actually come back to these lows in a while. We've created support around here. So it's kind of a tricky one. And then last time we had a strong reaction as well. We didn't quite get back to that low either. So yeah, I just don't like ranges, to be honest. And it's not that I don't like ranges as well. It's just that's not part of my plan either. So me looking to trade it is just has nothing to do with my trading style. But yeah, EuroCAD doing a pretty good job at respecting the high. Probably will give us a bit of a move to the downside here. But I'd be very careful in terms of targets. Very careful. I'll probably look at these intraday areas on the left to book partials at least. In terms of Aussie CAD, I'm pretty bearish on this one. Likewise with New Zealand CAD, they go hand in hand together. Again, expanding to the higher time frames, I do expect this bearish trend to continue and price to continue falling. That's the high, that's the low, and I kind of expect price to eventually get back to this low here. So I still do see Aussie CAD falling a long way, and yeah, I think the boat might have sailed. We're looking pretty bearish right now. Maybe if we do come back and retest the high, that would be nice. But it looks like we might have kind of pulled away already. Yeah, to the high. There we go. So if price can come back and retest the high, that would be nice. But yeah, we might be fine. I mean, price looks pretty corrective here. So I mean, it's a corrective pair in general, but we're having a tough time trying to break lower. So we might push up. So I wouldn't rule that out completely. But yeah, if we can push up, that'd be great. And I'm expecting price to swing all the way back down to the low here at 0.885 and eventually back to the daily low below us down there. But New Zealand CAD looks the best to me, so that's really where my focus lies right now. Hopefully you can see one more push up, not too far away. I haven't really gone too far either as well. So that pullback is definitely in the cards. And if I can find some entries, great. And targets back down at 0.799. Okay, really? All you trade now is Bitcoin. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I never, well, actually, I did take one trade in Bitcoin before. That was ages ago for a bit of fun. But yeah, I don't trade crypto because, of course, not that you can't use technical analysis on crypto. You can, but in terms of the money involved and participants involved, of course, it's nowhere near compared to like Euro USD, for example. So in terms of the price action, it's a bit more pure with Euro USD, and I like it because with my back testing as well, I can go all the way back to 2010 with Euro USD, and the price action is still relatively similar. Bitcoin, you could probably do that as well, but it's a whole different era back in 2010 for Bitcoin than now, of course. So that's why I kind of like the FX markets and gold and silver, and even the indices as well, because of the consistency of the markets and the fact that they've been here forever. I probably will at some point look to add crypto to the watch list. I'll probably keep it at arm's length, though I probably won't trade it often. But again, technical analysis is still technical analysis. The only thing to watch out for crypto is that we can have those sudden big moves, which could be great if it's in your direction, of course. Yeah, big payday. But hey, if you find a lot of consistency with it, it's working well. I think take full advantage of that as much as possible. Afonso B just bought you at 1.2430, should hold. Again, only you know the answer to that. If you get into a trade, always know what your exit plan is. Where you exit, why you exit. Always have that in detail before you do enter a trade. If you don't, then I wouldn't advise entering it. Of course, in terms of my analysis, I'm pretty bearish on pound USD. I think from an intraday point of view, we probably still do have another move to the upside, at least back to the highs here, which is where I'm looking to short from, really, 1.25. So if you're looking for a move like that intraday, I'd say it does look pretty good. But again, in terms of how much you're risking, if you haven't, risk too much, if you I don't know where your stop loss is necessarily. If it's below here, then I would say you've got a pretty nice stop loss. It's pretty in a safe distance away from current price as well. Where's your entry? 1.2430, 2430. Okay, so it's pretty much a current price. If your stop loss is like here, then it's pretty tricky, to be honest, because there's a good chance price does actually just take your stop loss, to be honest. You're not giving yourself much room there to capitalize and move to the upside. Of course, I'm not saying it's an incorrect place to have your stop loss, because your risk will be quite tight. So if it does play out, you're looking at a pretty big risk reward just for a push back to the highs there. So it's not necessarily incorrect, it's just very tight. If your stop loss is here, you've got a bit more room to breathe. Again, doesn't mean you can't take a loss, but you give yourself a bit more chance to catch that swing to the upside. So yeah, I would say pound USD intraday does look good for another move higher. But yeah, I would make sure that you have a plan getting into a trade, and you know what that plan is, and stick to that. Of course, I'm not a crystal ball, so I can't tell you if pound USD will actually make this move first. I'm actually pretty bearish on pound, so you might just sell off without that move higher. Yeah, I can't tell you if the market will push up or not, but what I can say is that intraday does look good for another move up higher. But yeah, if you don't have a plan for the trade, I would close it and then make sure when you open your next one, you do have a plan. And it's just a good habit to build up as well. Asim, what is up? Long gold from 2760. Okay. Didn't show any signs of melting currently. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're looking pretty good. Gold's looking very bullish. Probably is gonna just go and take out the all-time highs, really. Any probability for reversal soon? Okay, I'll take a look now. Someone on the podcast said, when you come to someone's live stream, ask questions, you're basically asking the streamer, what do you do with your hard-earned money? Some truth in that. True. It is very true. And again, I mean, that's one of the benefits of live streaming. You can kind of chat with one another. And it's a bit more real time, of course. Whereas kind of videos are good as well, because there's a comment section as well, but it's a bit more delayed. And live stream give a bit more sense of community as well. Let me go take a look at gold. But yeah, gold's looking very, very bullish. Gold's looking very bullish right now. So is there any possibility of a reversal? Yes, there always is. I mean, sometimes it's the trades that are going very well for you that you kind of least expect the reversal, then the reversal comes, especially in a market like gold, which can do anything at any moment in time. Let me have a quick look from the news. Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, so you have PC in the afternoon, 1:30. Again, not the biggest news event. I mean, we had Fed interest rate yesterday, and it barely caused much movement. I mean, you could probably argue that the movement today is kind of caused off the back of the news from yesterday, and it probably is. But again, still nothing too crazy there. But yeah, we do have some PC in the afternoon. Maybe that might cause a bit of movement. But generally speaking, yes, there always is a possibility. But I wouldn't say it's likely, though. I wouldn't say it's likely, Asim. I would say we're probably more likely to just go and take out the highs, the all-time highs, rather than sell off. We're very, very close to doing that. I actually thought we would do it over here, to be honest, here. So that's how unpredictable gold can be, because I would have sworn I would expect price to go and take out the all-time highs. We're very, very close to doing it. There was a lot of momentum at the time, but then you can see price went for a pretty big reversal there. So, I mean, it looks like it's probably going to go do it now, but then we might come into the high and respect it again. So, yeah, I would say watch out for the high there. I'm expecting price to go take up the highs. It looks like you managed your trade well. You said you're taking partials, probably stops the break even as well. So you've done everything on your end. Now it's up to the market to kind of deliver. Whether it does or not, again, is nothing really up to us right now. It looks like a really good trade. I mean, overall direction in your favor. The higher time frames in your favor as well. So I don't really see much wrong with the position. But of course, anything can happen and price can go against you. You're long from 2760, which is around here. So, yeah, really nice confident candle in your favor. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Really nice confident candle in your favor there on the last 4 hour candle close. So, yeah, I'd just say put your stops to break even, so there's no risk on the table. I would assume you probably already have done. You've already secured some profit, so you've paid yourself. Whatever happens, you walk away with a return. And yeah, let price do its thing. But I'm afraid I can't give you that full security that price will go and take up the highs. So yeah, I would be careful of that, but things look very bullish. Anyway, I haven't actually gone through my watch list during the stream yet. But in terms of the watch list, it's pretty, I mean, it hasn't really changed all week. New Zealand CAD shorts still look very, very good. So still waiting to see a push in that area, although it looks like CAD's a bit strong right now. I mean, New Zealand CAD isn't dropping that much, but hopefully we could see a push back to that level. Dollar yen still looking for longs for this guy. Gonna see what we do at that level at 154, because if we can respect that, hopefully we can find some type of double bottom and then hopefully trade it back to 158.5, which is the highs, and then maybe back to 161.780, which is the swing highs on the weekly chart. So that's still very much the plan, and we're not too far away from this. So this could be a setup potentially later today, so I need to keep a close eye on that. In terms of pound USD, as we just mentioned, I'm looking for shorts for that one, but I do want to see one more push to the upside back into 1.25. That's where we got that lovely level of support, which of course will be turn resistance. So I'm kind of looking to see if we can get back to that level and take some positions from there. And of course, gold is on the watch list, but I don't think I'll get traded on gold anymore. That one's just flying right now. The position I was looking for was the retest of this level, but yeah, with how bullish everything's looking, we probably won't see that move. So gold is still on the watch list because I don't know, maybe we do sell off this afternoon, but the likelihood of me trading it is pretty low now. That's not all of it, is that it? Yeah, I mean that's pretty it on the watch list because Pound NZD and Pound Aussie they took off this week without me, so they're not really something I'm focusing on anymore as well. CHF pairs, no, not really. I mean, I do like New Zealand CHF to the downside, but it's been way too corrective, and I can't really find a clean entry for this one, so I don't really have a setup to look at for either. Um, And then, yeah, I'm kind of waiting to, oh, I forgot pound yen. My bad, my bad. Pound yen as well. I'm looking to short pound yen at the high. It's not quite there at my level, but if it does push up, I'm looking to short from 194.658. Looking for the double top, then hopefully a swing back into the low. And if the oh, just hit the mic there. If the other yen pairs pick up some pace, I could look to add quite a few of them onto the watch list. For example, if euro yen does start breaking through the low here, that will give me some confidence to start shorting back to the low there. CHF JPY, if that can start breaking through the lows here as well, I'll start looking for opportunities like that. CAD yen, likewise too. If that can start breaking through the low as well, I'll start looking for opportunities there too. So if the yen pairs pick up some momentum, which looks like they might be doing it, we're seeing some signs of that happening, then quite a few of the yen pairs will be added. CHF JPY, CAD yen, pound yen, euro yen. Also, Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, if these guys can break out of their ranges, then I think there'll be some really nice opportunities, either up or down, as I mentioned earlier in the stream. So these guys look really good as well. We'll keep a close eye on them. Again, the real thing I'm looking for is momentum, because with my trading style, I'm always looking for continuation of momentum. So if there's no momentum to start with, then there's no kind of edge for me. So I need to see momentum in a direction, and then I'm looking for opportunities to continue that momentum. So I need price to break out of that. And then I'll look to add this one, likewise with New Zealand yen as well. So yeah. So yen pairs not really on the watch list yet, apart from pound yen and dollar yen, but a lot of them could be added pretty soon if I see some nice breakouts. But I'm going to keep an eye on the JPY basket because we're trading at some really strong support right now. Resistance, sorry. And it depends what price does at this high, whether we break it or not. Because if we do break it, that means the yen basket is going to be bullish, and that means the yen pairs are going to be falling. If we don't break it and we do sell off, that means the yen pairs are going to be bullish again. And I need to be careful if I do get into shorts, but that means probably dollar yen will set up for me. So need to keep an eye. If I look at the challenge stats, average 1 to 3 risk reward, 6% win rate on all past accounts, and then negative risk rewards, 10% win rate. Yeah. If you crunch the numbers, 1 to 3 risk reward, 6% win rate is very, very profitable. And of course, if you crunch the numbers, negative risk reward with 10% win rate is very, very unprofitable. So yeah, I mean, again, you're not going to have the same kind of win rate consistently. It's very, very difficult to do that because naturally market conditions will change. Especially if you're targeting a 1 to 3 risk reward. If the market isn't as volatile enough, you might not get that 1 to 3. Therefore, your win rate will decrease because you're not quite seeing the move to that 1 to 3 risk reward area. So win rate will fluctuate between very, very high and pretty low as well. And the average is kind of what you're looking for. As long as the average of that is profitable, then you're good to go. But if your average win rate is 50%, you probably will see some months where you're like 60, 65, maybe even 70, maybe even higher than that as well. And you will see some months where you're like 30%, 25% as well. So as long as the average is profitable with your average risk reward as well, that's really what you want to be looking at. But it will fluctuate as well. But yeah, you can see that there's a big contrast between those two metrics there. Quick delete, it never happened. Gold, make it double top if success sets up. You looking for a double top on gold? Maypin, am I saying that correctly? Probably not. Okay, I'll go through dollar yen and Bitcoin. Gold, I'm not looking for a double top. A double top could form, of course, but I'm very bullish. The trend is bullish on numerous time frames for gold, so I'm expecting us just to go and break the highs and continue. We might respect them and turn around. Of course, that is a possibility. What's up, Nenad? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Welcome to the last 5 minutes of the show. Yeah, I'm expecting gold to break the highs and continue. Dollar yen, I'm looking for a big buy in this one, as I just mentioned, from this area here roughly. I need to see if the price action is what I want it to be. I'll be looking for some wicks, bullish engulfing candles, but roughly that's kind of the setup I'm looking at to take it back into the highs. Very simple stuff. Impulse, looking at this as the correction. Now the plan is to catch the next impulse back to the highs. And with Bitcoin, looking pretty bullish right now, but we are approaching some resistance here at 107, 108K, 108K. So I wonder, is Bitcoin just going to come back, respect the high, and roll back over again? So although Bitcoin looking pretty healthy right now, I would be a bit weary as we do approach that resistance, because if things don't go well, we could come straight back down and actually break support here and start pushing back to the 92K area. On the other hand, if we do see a successful break, then yeah, Bitcoin could be on its next bullish wave back to 115, 120. I would say 120K is the next big psychological level for gold. You're kind of stalling around the 110 area, so I would say 120 is the next big area. But yeah, we're coming to resistance. Need evidence of us breaking through that before I do get excited. No problem, Nanad. Survived yesterday with a position on Apple stocks. Okay, nice. Target 260 is not attainable. What happened with Apple? Oh, that is not the Apple I wanted. Okay, so yeah, you said you trailed your stop loss around here, isn't it? Below that candle there, and we have had a nice push to the upside. We're still kind of in around that area of resistance, so that's why it's still a little bit hectic, because you can see really massive rejections here on our left. So we're kind of, it looks like we're breaking through, which is great, but we're still kind of in that area. I wouldn't say we've completely cleared it yet. If we can get another one of these candles here, breaking that, then yeah, we've definitely cleared the level. But at the moment, it still looks pretty bullish to me. We broke through the high here on the left. That was kind of our last major lower high, which gave us this push down. Price is just about taking that high out. So that's more evidence that maybe Apple is getting ready to push. Your target, you said, is 2060. 2060. 260. Can't speak. Where's 260? Okay, back at the high, basically. So yeah, I would say we've got a good chance of seeing that happen. I think if you can clear this resistance here, 238, there's a good chance we do make that move. Of course, there's still a long way to go. So if we do clear this, that's great. But then we might still mess around a little bit. But I would say if we can break that resistance, given the current trend of the market, we should see price continue, most likely. But yeah, things do look good there. You trade stocks now? No, I don't trade stocks. The market pulse, and Ninad's looking at an Apple position. Well, I'm looking at an Apple position for Ninad. He's in a long. But no, I do not trade stocks. I do not trade stocks. Only FX and gold and silver and US 30. But hopefully soon, probably look to add a few more in the season. Probably look to add oil as well. If I'd been looking at oil, I think it's time I look to really add that to the watch list as well. So yeah, hopefully at some point this year, add NAS, add S&P, and add US 30 and oil to the repertoire. Again, I have a wide range of pairs. At the moment, I trade 32 pairs in my watch list. Well, not watch list, but my overall kind of markets I look at. And I'm always looking for the best opportunity I can find. The more pairs, the better, really, for me. The more pairs, the better, because I can be a bit more picky. Especially when it's with a swing trading style, you're not necessarily looking to try and focus with one pair exclusively. You're looking for an opportunity that fits your plan well, which might come through New Zealand CAD, it might come through oil, it might come through pound USD. So it's just about staying aware. But yeah, I don't trade stocks. Maybe one day, but I don't really see the attraction for me. So no problem in that. Happy to help. But yeah, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. I will be actually live again later today with Trader Nick on his channel. Wow, looks like your USD is pretty bearish. I will be live again later today on Trader Nick's channel. So if you guys are free this afternoon, pop in, say hi. No problem, Matt. No problem. Yep, it will be nice. It will be nice. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I will be live again tomorrow on the channel, and also will be live later today with Nick on his channel. I will be live again on this channel, my channel, tomorrow as well. Same time as usual, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you're free, pop in, say hi, and have a chat with us. But guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day. We do have euro interest rates at 115, I think. So watch out for that if you are trading in euro pairs. But besides from that, guys, have a great day. I'll catch you all in the next one.